Osher Freilich. Slower, Osher, slower. We'll be here till Tish above. Which is right above Tish in case anyone's looking for it.
I thought I'd provide him with a simple pseudonym for me. So, yeah, Osher Freilich was sort of all I could come up with. But, by the way, you have no idea what they're doing to us back there. You know, I was sitting there minding my own business. They took me out behind there. It's just cruel and unusual punishment down there. Why do you need to come out of there anyway? I mean, look, I know we're all sort of trying to play house here and sort of we're all very proud of ourselves. We're up here on stage. But come on. I mean, can't we sit and enjoy the show? Well, I was enjoying that guy before. It's a weird night tonight in general. Like, we've got racist Indians. We've got Michael accusing me of being bald. We've just got a lot of... we've got a lot of weird paradoxes going on. I'm actually very unprepared for this show. You know, I brought a big Jewish crowd here, and I actually had prepared my whole routine in Yiddish. So it's... So I'm sort of I'm ad-libbing all of this now. I actually suffer from a lot of stage fright, actually. And you know, anybody who suffers from stage fright gets the sort of the age-old advice from their parents or whatever that just imagine the whole crowd naked. Now, it's a pretty perverted sort of piece of advice, this, and it's actually quite intimidating. Can you imagine giving a presentation to a group of naked people? It'd be much more sensible to imagine particular members of the crowd naked. All right? That would actually relieve the stress. Particular members, like you. Right? That takes the edge off the performance a bit. I mean, I don't know. I'm from actually, well, they like to say Perth, but I've been living in Sydney. You know, in Sydney recently, I don't know if any of you read, they had the largest convention of naked people in front of the Opera House. Did you read about that? Yeah, they had a huge collection, like 1,000 naked people in front of the Opera House. Now, surely this was an opportunity for bashful orators to really come out of the woodwork. You know, like, why weren't people with shy kids going, look, Timmy, this is your chance to shine. There's 1,000 naked people in front of the Opera House. There should have been the greatest orations in human history should have been produced from there. Anyway, it's a long flight actually from Sydney to America. Very expensive flight. So it weeds out the poor people actually. Sort of only rich Australians can come to the US. Have you ever wondered when you go to a travel agent and you book your ticket, what it is that they're typing behind those computers? Like, you know, and particularly when you go and you book, you're at the airport, and you sort of say, oh, look, you know, how much for a, you know, oh, could you give me the kosher meal? It's only they're like typing for 1 hour. Well, are they doing a part-time PhD behind those computers when you ask them? I just never understood what they're typing. And then when you get on the plane, answer me this. Is there anything the toilets on a plane cannot flush? That's what I want to know. Like, I'm thinking of bringing a bowling ball next time on the plane and seeing if it can flush it. I think it's actually for sort of unwanted babies. You can just sort of put it there and, yeah, I was wondering whether that was too extreme, actually. Because the interesting thing about those toilets on a plane, it's actually very insulting. It's like the toilet telling you, we want nothing that you give us, all right? We want to get rid of it as soon as possible. This is in contrast to the New York toilets that want to retain everything that you give them. You know, have you noticed that? They want to retain it and they want to give it straight back to you. You know, right? They're very generous. They're very generous, New York toilets. Have you ever been on a plane and been stuck between the two trolleys? You know, you're getting up, you need to go to the toilet. They always have two trolleys. Have you noticed that? There's the drinks trolley and there's the food trolley. All right? They haven't worked out how to combine these two. The beverages and food are very distinct entities. And you sort of get up, you want to go to the toilet, and you walk a bit because you're making some progress, but then you realise that you're caught between the two trolleys. And there's this sort of there's a Mexican standoff. I'm not racist, by the way, so any reference to ethnicity is sort of incidental. I'm not one of the self-loathers that you have had here standing up. And so you're caught between the two trolleys, and it's a real Mexican standoff, actually. And I find myself, I don't know, wetting my pants between the two trolleys. But that wasn't planned. Yeah. So yeah, you were right. I am losing my hair. You know, the whole glass houses thing. I won't rub it in. And I knew it was a problem because my ex-girlfriend, you know, I decided to sort of, I only took her out in particular lightings and used mirrors and used all sorts of David Copperfield techniques to hide my baldness. And she said, look, Osher, she said, you can't be slightly bald. She said, it's like if you grew a set of antlers. You can't apologize for them being small, right? It's just unacceptable in any quantity. And the interesting thing about baldness, I went to a doctor. You know, there's loads of clinics. There's clinics advertised. Yeah, you know, you've got a fascination with erectile dysfunction, I can see. The interesting thing about if ever you want to end it with a date, you think a date's going badly, and you know you're privileged enough to have a car, and you're there, she's in the passenger seat, and a radio ad comes on about erectile dysfunction, and you want to end the date, just turn it up and tell her to be quiet for a second. All right? That's it's a good way to end a bad relationship. Something like, you know, are you suffering from depression, or are you suffering from erectile dysfunction? Say, shh, just be quiet for a minute. I just want to listen to this. Okay, go on. Yeah. So the thing about baldness, so I went to the clinic and they said that it's caused by a surplus of testosterone. Now, isn't that a very unfortunate, cruel twist of nature? The very thing that makes me attracted to women, the testosterone, makes me repulsive to women. I mean, what's that? I mean, that's proof that the Darwinian evolution is a flawed concept. All right? Because if anything, my attraction to women should make me vital and vibrant, very attractive. And here's the thing, right? Listen to this. The treatment for baldness is this pill called Propecia. And one of the side effects of this pill is it makes your balls shrink. So isn't this an incredible, cruel twist of fate? That, okay, so now you've got hair, you're vital, you're vibrant, but you've got nothing to use. That's terrible. I opted for a more topical lotion, actually, because that was too extreme for me. You know, I've got too many dreams for my life and so I got this stuff called Rogaine. You sort of drip feed it onto your head. It's sort of like you drip it and it slides all over your face. But I knew it was effective because I have a Mexican short hair dog, and it accidentally spilt onto the Mexican short hair, and it morphed into an old English sheepdog. So I knew I was on a winner there. So yeah, that was good. Someone mentioned Pringles before. You know, I've got a bit of a cold. That's because this city is such a melting ground for germs. Really, am I over already? That goes very quickly. Have you noticed when you offer some guy some chips, they touch every chip in the bag? That's why there's germs. And I think that's why Mr. Pringle had a gut full of this and decided to design a container where you couldn't possibly touch every chip. And it's actually excellent diet food, Pringles. Have you ever seen a fat man trying to get his wrist into that canister? It's impossible. They can't do it. They discovered gravity, though. They actually turned it around, and they're able to access that. Anyway, thank you very much. This guy wants me off.
Osher Freilich. Nice job, right? Doesn't speak the language. I didn't believe the part about the girlfriend. But I mean, other than that,